Hey guys, welcome to another Thursday edition of the Vinyl Den, your channel for record collecting by record collectors. My name is Nick, and today I'm going to talk about something that I hadn't planned on doing this video this week because I didn't really know this was going to come out. I'm going to be talking about the list for Record Store Day Black Friday. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you click on the link down below and go check out the Vinyl Den Facebook group. I know I say it every week, but it's just a growing community where we can, continue the music conversation. There's also a couple other links down there. There's one for the Vinyl Den merch page. If you want one of these cool Vinyl Den t-shirts, there's also sweatshirts on there. And there's also a link for the Vinyl Den Patreon page if you want to support the show. So it's greatly appreciated. And make sure you give the episode a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time we release new episodes. So like I said, I had a whole different video planned for this week, and it, I knew the Record Store Day Black Friday list was going to get released. It's typically released, I think it's normally like later in September, mid-September, which I guess it kind of is mid-September now, but, I kind of felt like with the delays and everything that we were seeing from vinyl releases, I really wasn't expecting to see a list until sometime in October. I think I just had a conversation actually on the Vinyl Den Facebook group not too long ago where I kind of said I wouldn't be surprised really to see that list get pushed till, the third or maybe even the fourth week in October. So I was really kind of surprised to see this list get dropped already. And Record Store Day Black Friday is typically not a really big event, not like Record Store Day typically is, more, pre-pandemic and everything. Record Store Day, which is the third Saturday in October every year, the third Saturday in April every year. And, it's typically, 500 plus releases. And I didn't count, but it definitely didn't seem like a really long list that came out. But there's probably 10 or 11 albums that I'm going to talk about today that I'm at least interested in. I might only pick up maybe 3 or 4 of them for sure, but we'll see. It really depends on pricing, which I think that's how Record Store Day really is most years for me. There's always a couple of titles I'm really interested in, and then when I get to the record store and see that it's 50, 60, 70 bucks sometimes for some of these albums, I tend to kind of pass on it. There was, I don't remember which, there was a jazz album that came out Record Store Day earlier this year. I don't remember what drop it was, if it was July or August, but I think it was the Bill Evans one actually, which in hindsight I probably should have picked up, but it seemed a little pricey at the time. But from what I've heard off of it, it sounds absolutely fantastic. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm on the fence definitely about some of these, but we'll see what I end up picking up. Like I said, these are just albums that I'm interested in. Drop me a comment down below and let me know what you guys are interested in. Ian and I will get a little closer to Black Friday. Ian and I will do kind of a deep dive episode, and we'll talk about some of the stuff that you guys are interested in also. But the first one, I'm kind of an early Aerosmith fan. So Aerosmith 1971, The Road Starts Here. This is a Record Store Day first. If you don't know, there's a couple different Record Store Day releases. There's Record Store Day first, which means it's being released on Record Store Day, really depending on how it sells. It may get released later. Then there's also Record Store Day exclusives, which is, regardless of what it does, it's probably going to be the only pressing you're ever going to see of it. And then there's also limited or regional releases, which are typically 1,000 or less. So those are kind of the 3 different brackets that they fall into. But anyway, this Aerosmith Record Store Day first, there's going to be 10,000 of these released. This is kind of interesting. This is recorded in Boston in 1971. And this was recorded in their rehearsal studio on Joe Perry's tape recorder. So this is going to be kind of interesting to see or listen to some of these early mixes from Aerosmith. This is a year before they were signed by Columbia, and 2 years before their debut album came out. So I'm really interested to check that out. Like I say, for a lot of these releases, it's really going to be depending on what the price is, but that's definitely one that I want to check out. The next one here, this is Chet Baker. This is Albert's House. You guys know me. I'm a big jazz fan. But Chet Baker's a great jazz trumpeter, but I don't think I actually own any of his albums. So I'm definitely interested in this one. This is going to be an RSD first, so it may be available later. It's going to be kind of limited, though. There's going to be only 1,300 of these pressed. So this is something that I kind of expect to see at a later point, just because I know a lot of these jazz albums that are record store day releases, which is actually several of them on the list this year. This is one that I know will probably go pretty fast, and like I said, depending on the price, I'll try to grab a copy of it. Sticking with that jazz line, you got Thelonious Monk, Monk's Music. This is actually an RSD limited release. There's only going to be 1,000 of these released, and this was originally recorded in 1957, and these are going to be hand numbered copies, which is something that, for most of the record store days I've been to up until the last couple of years, a lot of these RSD releases were numbered, and they've kind of gone away from that. And it always kind of makes me wonder if they say that there's 5,000 copies, if they're not numbered, are they really releasing 5,000 copies, or is it are they trying to create some hype and really doing 7,500 or maybe 8,000? Who knows how many copies? But so this is actually be hand numbered. That'd be a great one to check out. There's also Live Evil by Miles Davis. This is a fantastic album, and this is the 50th anniversary release of this. This is going to be another one of those RSD first, so this is something you'll probably see later on down the line. There's going to be a little over 10,000 copies of these made, so there's going to be a bunch of these available. I think the Miles Davis stuff typically sells pretty well on Black Friday, but on Record Store Day. So this is another one that I expect to kind of go fast. So one thing I saw on the list that I'm not a huge fan of this artist, but I know a lot of you guys out there are, and there's been a lot of talk on the Vinyl Den Facebook group the last several months about looking for this album. So I was really kind of excited to see this on the list for the people out there looking for it, until I saw it as a picture disc. So this is Dio, Holy Diver. You guys know I'm not a huge Dio fan, but I don't even know if I've actually listened to this whole album, so I should sit down and listen to it. But this is an album that I saw quite a bit until probably about a year and a half ago, and that kind of dried up. So I know there's a bunch of people out there that are looking for it, and I'm sure a lot of them are disappointed that it's going to be a picture disc. This is going to be an RSD exclusive. There's going to be 7,500 of these released. I don't have a huge issue with these picture discs being released. I know The Cure does them also. And there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of picture discs on the Record Store Day Black Friday list this year. And the reason I have a big issue with these is for the most part, they tend to be, like earlier this year for Record Store Day, Black Sabbath did the Mob Rules and Heaven and Hell, which I don't have a big problem with that because those are standard pressings that are easily available. So if someone wants to pick up, the RSD exclusive picture disc, I tend to have a big issue with it. I don't like it when it's an album like this where I know people are looking for it. It's gotten pretty expensive on the resale market, and then instead of doing a traditional release of it, they do a picture disc. I know I feel bad for the people out there that are looking for this, and I know a couple of them will pick up the picture disc just because it's the only option they can or they have available to grab it. But I'm glad that some people will be able to finally get their hands on that album. So I'm a really big Alice Cooper fan, but it's really kind of limited to the Alice Cooper band stuff from the early 70s, and then his first couple of solo albums. After that, he kind of lost me on some of the stuff, but he is releasing Brutal Planet for Record Store Day. This is an album that came out in 2011, so it's the 10-year anniversary of this release. And this is another one of those albums that I know Ian's been on me for a couple of years to check out his later catalog. And I need to finally sit down and actually listen to it. But I know there are some people out there that are interested in Brutal Planet. I think this is when he was in his more industrial kind of phase, which I'm not a big fan of. But, I will stream it before Record Store Day Black Friday, just in case I do want to pick it up. This is kind of interesting, though, because it says it's color in color double vinyl. So I don't know what color in color means. I didn't see a mock-up online of what color this is going to be. But this is going to be an RSD first. There's going to be 1,200 copies of this release, so it's not going to be a big release initially. These will probably sell pretty quick, and then I expect, like I said, because it is an RSD first, that we'll see more of these copies down the line. The last 5 I've got on the list are ones that I'm pretty sure I'm going to try to pick up. The first one, this is Jimi Hendrix Experience, Paris, 1967. I love Jimi. I've always loved Jimi since I was a kid. I used to listen to my my parents' Jimi Hendrix albums when I was growing up. But this is recorded in October of 1967, obviously in Paris. It's got a lot of his like earlier hits on there. It looks like a really good collection of tracks. I looked up the track listing already, but this is going to be an RSD exclusive. There's going to be a bunch of these available. There's going to be a little over 13,000 copies of this available. And this is on red and blue mixed vinyl. So I don't know. I'm not really sure how it's mixed. Like I said, they don't really put mock-ups of these albums up online. So that'll be a cool one to check out. Another one is a band that I listened to their first album, and then I really kind of never listened to a whole lot else until earlier this year. And this Evanescence, this is their self-titled album, is going to be coming out for Record Store Day Black Friday. I have fallen. I've been a big fan of the album since it was released, but for some reason I never really checked out any of their other stuff until their new album came out earlier this year, and I started like digging through some of their older material. And this is a really fantastic album. This is one that I'm definitely going to try to pick up. This is another one that's released in 2011, so it's a 10-year anniversary album. It's on Purple Smoke vinyl, which sounds pretty cool. This is going to be an RSD exclusive. It's a little over 4,650 to be exact, or what's going to be released. So it might not be. This is going to be like super hard to find, but it's not going to be as widely available as some of the other pressings. But definitely those two are really be cool to check out. And those are two that I didn't, when I first went through the list, I didn't really even notice those two on there. And it was after I was looking online, went on Facebook, was looking at some other posts, and I was like, oh, man, I didn't even see that. So I kind of went through the list a second or third time, and I was like, man, those are both really cool ones that I'd love to check out. So the next one on the list is one that I was actually a little surprised to see, and that's Flesh and Blood by Poison. I know this is an album that Ian has actually been looking for a while. I picked up an original pressing probably about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. And so I kind of went back and forth on whether or not I'd pick it up. And depending on the price, I probably will pick it up. But Flesh and Blood's a fantastic album. It was released in 1990. I know that a lot of people kind of pigeonhole Poison into maybe some of the music from their earlier career. But Flesh and Blood, I think, is a little bit of a transition away from that kind of hair metal stuff from the 80s. It is a great album. This is going to be an RSD exclusive. There's only going to be 4,000 copies of this available. I know, 4,000 is still quite a bit, and so this should be a pretty easy one to grab. But if you get there later in the day, I think it might be kind of, it might be sold out by them. And then the next two are ones that were supposed to be RSD releases earlier this year. And because of the way the disruptions in vinyl production they have both been pushed back to Black Friday, which we've already known. These are both announced earlier this year that they're going to be Black Friday releases, but they've kind of changed how they're doing these releases. So the first one, this is Mr. Big, Lean Into It. I know I talked about earlier this year that I was really interested in picking this up. This is an album that this is what's going to make me go out for Black Friday, is this one. So originally when it was released, or going to be released earlier this year, it was going to be a limited release. I think there was only 500 copies of this that were going to be available. So they've kind of changed that now. This is going to be an RSD first release. There's going to be 5,000 of them available. This is going to be the 30th anniversary pressing of this. So this is going to be an album that I think a lot of people are going to be out there looking for. But like I said, because it is an RSD first, we probably will see another pressing of it down the line. And then the last one I've got, this is Tesla Mechanical Resonance. This is an album that, like I said, because it was supposed to be released earlier this year, it's been pushed back to Black Friday. But this is going to be an RSD exclusive. And I want to say when it was going to be released earlier this year, I want to say there was only like 2,000 copies that were going to be released. They've bumped it up to 4,000 now. So I think it's kind of a good thing that they have pushed these two releases back to Black Friday and made it a little bit more available to people that are looking for it. But with this release, it was originally released in 1986. This is the first time it's being released on vinyl since that first release in 86. So, if you are a Tesla fan and have been waiting for this album, like I have been, because I think the only thing I've ever listened to, I own the Great Radio Controversy, and I've heard a couple of tracks off of this album. So this is definitely one that when it was announced earlier this year, I definitely had it on my list. So those were all the titles that I kind of saw the first time through the list. I know that there's probably more stuff that I will kind of pick up on, over the next several weeks or whatever. But like I said, Ian and I will talk about, get into greater detail with some of the other stuff once we get a little closer to Black Friday. But I wanted to kind of put a video out of kind of what my first impressions of this Black Friday list were. I know there's a lot of people out there that are really disappointed in this list. But like I said, Record Store Day Black Friday tends to not be, a hugely popular day. There seems to be one or two major releases every year. I think 2 Black Fridays ago, so was that 2019? I think there was only one thing I picked up that day. I think that was the day the Pearl Jam Unplugged was released. So, I went from there to last year. I want to say I picked up probably 5 or 6 different albums on Record Store Day Black Friday. So I don't know. I think it's really kind of hit or miss, a little bit more than maybe the bigger Black Friday, the bigger Record Store Day events are. But this seems like a typical Black Friday list to me. A couple of big hitters and then some kind of sneaky good albums in there. But I don't know. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. What you guys are looking forward to. I'm always interested to see what you guys want off these lists. And there tends to be a couple of things I get talked into buying every Record Store Day. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give the old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. And make sure you come back and check out the show on Sunday. Well, that's all I got. Until next time, keep on spinning. Peace.